Hey, so I'm just gonna talk over this game, kind of give thoughts on like what my mindset would be, and maybe some things if I see you could do better, point them out. Things are doing well as well. So first of all, I always like to look at both comps when I load in. So looking at our comp, we have like more standard, competitive comp, good macro, tanky. So as Blaze, you're like the main wave clear here. So I would normally want to play either bottom to do camp or mid to do camp. With the hammer, it's a little awkward because hammer normally wants to go to a side lane rather than mid, since hammer is less gankable on side. So if hammer goes bot, then you can be mid and just be mid clear slash camp. And if hammer wants to go top, then you could be bottom and your 3-man play from mid. So either way, I think you playing from mid is pretty good here though. And then looking at their comp, I would say that they have a pretty squishy front line, even though it is triple front line, it's still pretty squishy, and they're all very short range. So like my mindset this game would be very much like peel focus, like peel for my backline, maybe draw some aggro, but overall just like try to out sustain them and like out tank them, and use your oils to set up for your team and to set up for yourself as well. So I don't really like you being top lane here because first camp can be awkward. You're gonna have Rhaegar on that. But I guess that's the setup you guys went for. I think it would have been a lot better if Hammer was mid and you were top, because or sorry, Hammer was top and you were mid, because then you could easily go to the camp, and also like Hammer could get more push easier here. But we'll see how that works out. So small micro thing here. So I always like to make sure you want to like expand all of this before you queue again. So like there you want to queue all 3 minions, which you didn't. And then, okay, that was good. You Q1. So very small, but I always like to finish all of my auto attacks before I Q again, if that makes sense. Like just make sure you get the most out of your auto attack. And then yeah, here I would have went for this dismount on Illidan. Instead of getting a few hits on the tower, I think trying to move every time you clear the wave and get some dismounts, or at least get some vision, is normally better than chucking down the towers. But if you do want to play for tower damage, you also could have WQ'd the tower there instead of just autoing it and queuing it, because you had full mana. This is fine. You're clearing. So yeah, I like to clear, and then I like to move right away. So this is good. You're moving this time. It's always good to like try to move right away because you don't really poke towers anymore as Blaze, and it's good to like try to get on the map faster. So here, clearing mid with team, and then yeah, I'll go straight back to top. You probably could have went to top a little bit earlier instead of sieging mid here, but maybe your team's calling to overload mid. I'm not really sure what the call is, but I would have liked for you to go on top right away and make sure you're getting the wave in. Sorry, I missed that. Let's see, the stun fell up here. Oil's good. I probably would have queued tower before oiling, like small micro thing, but keeping the oil there is good. You went for the raw stun on Ariel, but you never really want to go for raw stuns like that. Instead, it's better to follow up off your Nubarak, especially because they have a decent amount of interrupts for your stun, including whip. It's like a really good Ariel, they'll whip your stun every time, or they can always just dodge it. So I think it's normally better to just wait for follow up. So if you followed up there on Murden, you might have killed him since the noob got his jump. And there you did miss half the wave to stay mid, which is not ideal because you guys didn't really get too much push and you didn't get the kill. Okay, now getting top. Rotating back, I like it. See if you can get a nice collapse here. Good dismount. Good oil. Good stun. That's a good lead stun. Fun's missed. And he's So here I would just Q and I would rotate instantly. So right here you wasted some time here. You can't really do much after you use your stun and you don't get the kill. I would instantly just Q this wave and start moving right away. Instead of moving down, just trust your 3-man to defend. Because now you're slow again back to top lane. And you're gonna miss some soak again. Maybe you only miss what's going on here. Had a little alt tab moment. Yeah, you missed a couple creeps and a little bit of gate damage, which is not ideal. So let me see if that tap was good if we're fully micromanaging. Yeah, this is a fine tap, half mana. Okay, so back to top lane. So I would get another wave here and then move again. And always I like to Q and then yeah, that's good. Q, then I would have won right away. Just to fast clear and move again. So a little bit late on the one there. That's good, you're moving. Helping a noob stall. I probably would have thrown a WQ here for more stall on Murden. Because you're not doing anything in mid right now. So it would have been good to help stall one more time with a WQ there. Okay, now Hammer's going top, so it looks like now you're playing mid, which is good. Survive the gank, no problem. You probably could have greeted this wave. Let's see if it was greetable. Sometimes you can greet a wave like that with trait. Just to make sure you get all the soak. And you can also be WQing waves. Like right here, I would have just WQ'd this wave to fast clear. Since you're full mana, like you can totally do that. Like when you're full mana, WQing waves is fine to get fast because now you miss half the wave, which seems insignificant, but it does add up. So you could have either trait cleared or WQ cleared because they can't really kill you early game without like having 4 heroes on you. They only had 3 heroes there, so you would have been completely fine. A nice W7, I like it a lot versus Illidan. I think it's a good choice here. And I think you're playing too respectful here on this Jaina. You can be a lot more when you see them all. Like as soon as you see Murden here, I would man up and trait clear this wave. You can use trait clear pretty greedily in the early game. Like right here, like he should not be allowed. You shouldn't let him bully you out here because you're a Blaze, he's a Jaina, and you see Murden, you see Illidan, you see all 4 other heroes. So I would have went for an aggressive stun on him and got my trade on him to push him out, chunk him out to maybe half, and get back on the wave. But here, like you're totally letting him disrespect you, but like he shouldn't be allowed to. You can even just oil him and run at him with your 1 key to make it easier to land the stun. Because if you oil him, run at him with your 1, then he's slowed and you're super fast, and then you can even slow him with trait to make sure you land the stun, and that would be a fat chunk on him. And it would be hard for him to get healed. He'd have to leave and go tap, and he might not even have tap. It doesn't even have tap, so you just push him out of lane completely. So here, a bit of a missed opportunity. You don't have to play. You're playing a little bit too safe whenever you see them all on the map, and you're allowing him to get like a Jaina should never really be able to get prio on you like that. There, okay, nice. We got the trait clear, so this is good. So I like this trait clear. I just would have liked it a little bit earlier because you could have pushed out Jaina with it as well. They're going for the Jaina stun. Could we have landed that stun? I'm not gonna be like too harsh on the micro, but let's see if there's any. Like you maybe could have. Let's see. Yeah, you could have got a little bit closer. I think you a little bit too early, but you guys probably wouldn't have killed him anyways. It just would have been a bigger chunk. And now they're rotating on you. Are you dead? Oh, that was a good whip. Yeah, you gotta run. You're running towards the rotation. So after you miss the stun, you gotta run back into the lane instead of running. So you gotta know where they are as well on the map. So like, if you just walk out on the top side, and so you kind of like put yourself in a bad spot by like running away towards them. If that makes instead of running away from them. So you probably could have lived if you just ran into the wave, because then it would have been easier for you to stun away without getting whipped. That's just like something I would have done intuitively. Like you didn't even have to notice them rotating up, or it didn't even have to be called, but that's just like an intuitive thing. Like run where there's more space instead of running where there's less space. Okay, here your camp is up, top wave is up. Looks like you're going top wave instead of camp. I think that's fine since hammer is mid now. Getting the wave in, it's big. I probably would greet another wave here because you see enough people on the map to where it looks like you're going to help camp, this is why I don't really like playing from top side with the camp clear hero. Like if I'm playing the Hogger or Blaze or Malthael or whatever, I really like to have someone like the Hammer or whoever Cassio top. That way you don't have to be the one to walk all the way around, because now you guys are gonna drop more soak here. So like, what could have happened is someone else holds top for you and then you go camp. But yeah, this is not ideal. Or you just stay top and let Rhaegar solo it, which he can. It'll take him a while, but he can still solo it. That's not good because you actually lost a decent amount top, like half a wave plus basically your whole wall. Okay, here they're 10. Gotta respect. They're going on you a bit. We were chilling. They're all in a good trade there. The bunker is really bad. You didn't have to bunker because they already used everything. So like you want to try to like you're already trading all their follow up, which is good. You're not bunkering right away, which is I like it. Like you're trading all their follow up, but you got to realize they just used Mura stun, Kira stun, and Ariel stun. So all three stuns are down, so you don't have to bunker unless the ring comes out. But you panic bunker too early, and your trait is still going. So your trait lasts 4 seconds, and it's still up for 2 seconds right now. So you don't have to bunker until your trait is already about to expire. So like you're basically overlapping your defensives right now, and you're also, like I said earlier, you're using your second defensive, even though all their CDs are down besides ring. So I would not bunker here until my trait is almost expired, and only if they commit another big ult, like if they commit the Kira ult or if they commit the Jaina ulti here. So yeah, the bunker was too panic. Thankfully, he ringed anyways, so it worked out. Oh, that's actually really tragic. You popped out into the ring. But you're playing Blaze, so you live. But yeah, you would have been full HP if you just saved the bunker for the ring. So try to keep that in mind of like tracking their offensive cooldowns and like using your defensives appropriately. So like you did it perfectly by bunkering or by trading the initial engage, but you messed up by just panic bunkering instead of saving it for the secondary engage. So you always want to use like one defensive for the first engage and then a second defensive for the second engage. And then if you do go spell armor at 13, then you have or at 16, then you have a third defensive for the third engage. So you want to like try to layer them as well. So here camp is up. I would instantly go camp. Kind of a little bit hesitant here. Got to keep track of these camp timers as well. So like here you're kind of just running around in circles. You should have either instantly been on midwave or instantly been on camp. I would have instantly been on camp there as Blaze. Well, it looks like you're coming to help out Brandon here. Oh, nice. They got the jump. Nice. Good combo there. WEQ. That was good. Wasted trait. That's not good. No need for that trait. Got to be a little bit more disciplined in how you're using your cooldowns. Got to think about it a little bit more. Because now you won't have trait for if they do go on you again. Okay, so there I actually wouldn't have stunned first. I would have let a noob stun first. So it's another small thing, but the noob rack engage is more reliable than yours. So there's a chance you can miss the stun. Even though you did land it, I still, seeing my noob rack position here, I would let him EQ first, and then I would stun after. And the reason behind that is it just makes it absolutely guaranteed. And it's always a good rule of thumb as Blaze to be like the secondary stun. Unless you have, sometimes you have to be the first stun. Like if you're desperate, or if you just have like a really good angle for it, like a multi-man stun, or like whatever other reasons. But that's generally the exception. The rule is to be the follow-up stun, especially if your Nubrek has such a good angle here. And another good benefit of that is you would have been able to stun after Aegis probably, because like the Aegis came out really early. So assuming you held your stun for a Nubrek EQ, then you would have actually been able to save it for this Aegis instead. But now you guys have basically overlapped. You basically overlapped a noob E and your E, but you want to let him go first. And so now you only have an Anub Q for the next stun, which is not going to be enough. But that's still a good overall trade. You guys got out the Aegis for just your basic cooldowns. Okay, so there again, you're bunkering to peel for him. That's a fine bunker. I'm okay with that. Normally, I'd like to save it for something like the ring, but you saw your hammer getting low and you bunkered. I think that's fine. Even though he's Z'd out, that's still fine. Okay, so now going top wave. It's good, clear it out. You see there's 4 people bottom side. I like this little bit of 4 damage. You know Illidan's probably coming soon, but I like proxying the wave. This is good. You could WQ this. You don't have to be too afraid. You could have WQ'd that wave before you left. You could have greeted that. And you could have just ran out on the left side. So it's a little bit too passive. A little bit too scared. Because you saw 3 heroes bottom. Only Murden could come. And you can survive a Murden and an Illidan. No problem. He's being a little bit annoying. But yeah, you can just tap up here. Tap and go camp. I like it. Oh, actually, you're tapping and collapsing? Okay, because your team is fighting boss. I see. That's good. You're here in time. I like the oil on point. You should have played the point instead of playing Ariel. You didn't really have to zone the Ariel. It would have been better for you to go for the 2-man stun on point. The Ariel is no problem. You can deal with her if she walks in. But the point is the main priority right now. So I would have WE'd the point. Right here, get the 2-man stun. Should be able to secure the Illidan kill. WE into bunker. Or WEQ into bunker. Would have been more than enough. Instead of going for the Ariel. But overall, you guys, looks like you guys, actually, if you don't get a kill here, it's really bad. You probably should have got, if you did stun here, you would have got 2 kills. You would have got the Illidan as well. But still good overall. Okay, so now, what are we doing? Mid wave, top wave, camp? I would have gone camp myself. I don't really like, I guess objective is fine here. Personally, I like to play this map a little bit slower. But maybe you were called to go objective. But I would have liked to have just done the camp, let the other people deal with the waves, and then with 16 we can force the objective or the boss, whatever we feel like doing, or even like a dive on mid. But I like to always get the camp whenever I have a second like that. Looks like we're just hard forcing objective before 16. This is a little bit risky because Hunt will be up soon. I don't really like this call. I would have preferred to play it a little bit slower and play for 16. But we are playing it, so let's see how we play it. Looks like we secure it. See how you use your oil here. That's a good oil. I would have liked this next oil right here, like kind of in between them all. You throw it behind the Rhaegar, but I would have thrown it a little bit in front of him. But he's a little crazy, so that's a fine stun attempt, no problem with that. Now we're running. Get an oil down, that's good. That's a good oil spot. Everyone's running, everyone's running. That's good overall. I would just stay now because we got chased so much and you're like thinking appeal, but now your objective's on the map and your tap's in 10 seconds. So I would just stay tap mid and or tap top, whichever, and stay on the map instead of backing here is pretty bad for your tempo because you had tap soon. And it's either back right away, which you couldn't because you could have, but you were worried about your team, understandably, so you stayed, which is a fine decision. But if you're committing to staying, then you're committing to staying. Like, you don't have time anymore now that your objective's out. So as soon as you made this decision right now that you're staying to potentially peel, you have to just commit to this play and play for your top. So, oh, what the? Okay, I'm gonna have to reload this. That's a little bit unfortunate. Let's try. Reloading. You can just skip over this part in the video. I'll skip back to where we were. Oh, I gotta turn this. It's so loud. Okay, where were we? Like 11 minutes in, I think. Play. I'll just fast forward because it might break again if I try to skip. I think we're about level 16. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, since you committed to staying, you should just fully commit to that. And you should just tap, because now you're basically dead during the objective if you think about it. And if you were here, you could have peeled for your homie here, or you could have helped us dive here. You could just be doing something more useful than having to have back there at a bad time. Because yeah, by the time we're back on the map, there's nothing we can really do. I also would have went spell power, the spell shield this game, since they have Jaina Kira. They're mostly magical burst, and that gives you another layer of defensive, which can help you make more space for your team by making yourself a kill target. And eventually you will become a kill target, so that's always really good insurance to have that. And you can use this one early before your trade in bunker. Depending, like normally what I like to do is I like to use, so like assuming they're going on me, I'll use bunker right away to block CC if I have to. Like if I'm about to get whipped into a wall, or if I'm about to get Ring of Frosted, or I'm getting Kira stunned, then I'll use the bunker. Like bunker for the iframes, for the unstoppable. So that's how you use bunker when you're getting gone on. But outside of that, I like to use the spell armor right away whenever they're going on me, especially if they're committing to magical bursts. And sometimes you can tank stuff, like tank the ring, tank the cure combo, tank the cure ult, as long as you press your spell shield first, because you're getting a big shield after that. And then I like to use the trait absolutely last. So it's normally the order I like to use. So like spell armor, bunker for unstoppable, or like maybe just panic button, like if you think you're gonna get super bursted, just to buy some time, or maybe to peel if you need it for your team. And then normally I like to use straight last, so it just gives you like a third defensive option, which anytime they have like any magical damage, I always like to go for that right away. Okay, so here we do the camp, we tap, team's dying top. Looks like you can't really make it to the play, so you're pushing mid. I think that's fine. Maybe you could have made it to this play. We'll see if you could have. If Hammer's committing, you might as well. You should have just committed as well. I like the idea of I'm just gonna get mid prio because my Cassier's already dead. But it looks like Hammer wants to turn this, so I would have just went and like see if I could turn it with the team. I don't hate pushing mid either, but since your Hammer committed, I probably would have committed with him as well, and see if we could have made some magic happen on the turnaround. Because they are very low. And if you were here, you maybe could have saved this play. And then here, so this is maybe a macro mistake, but I would have went bot right away as soon as I cleared mid, because you already know this is gonna get the fort. So I would have like instantly went bottom. That way I can instantly push it in. You did go, but I think you're a little bit slow. So like those few seconds they can add up. As soon as this wave is cleared, I instantly go bottom. Like even right now I would have gone. Like as soon as you get all the soak and you know your camp's gonna win, just like a little bit slow. And those few seconds over time they can add up, like small inefficiencies. This is good clearing two waves. I would have done the same exact thing. And then I would just back right now. Because you know the next play is just to clear boss. Looks like you're greeting even another. I don't hate this actually because they're on boss. This is actually I take it back. This is better. Getting a third wave is better. I think you should be fine. Good bunker to cancel the Kira E. Oh, you're actually dead? That's actually kind of crazy that they killed you. But if you think about it, if you were faster to bottom, like I said, like right after mid, if you were a little bit faster, you probably would have gotten out here. Also, I don't like trading this. Also, you should queue him to dismount. Like when you're running. That's another small thing. But like, see, you stepped in. I wouldn't have stepped in here. That's too greedy. Like getting this wave is already greedy, because you don't know. Like they could have already sent one back, and they do have a hunt, and Illidan could have already backed and be like hunting you. So like this is already like somewhat greedy, which is why I originally said I would have just backed. But since you did commit to stay, which I did say I liked, which I still think I like, if you were just a little bit faster, and maybe you could have outplayed the Kira by dodging his D, which maybe would have made you safe. But just stepping in here, I think, was the biggest mistake. Like if you are doing a greedy play, you don't want to like greed with your positioning as well by like walking up too forward. So like I like the idea, but I think the execution was bad. By stepping up and trading, I would have never traded here. Like you don't really want to trade clear in the late game. You always want to save it for fights. Like probably like post 10, post 13, I never will really trade clear unless it's an absolutely gigantic wave. But even then, it's like risky because you really want to save trade for fights or for surviving. Yeah, stepping in was bad and trade clearing was bad, and then also I would have after you eat away, which this was a really good E. I would have hit him with the Q and then an oil as I'm running. It's like Q him to dismount him, and then hit a little sidestep for the initial D, and then like maybe throw an oil down to because once he's dismounted, the oil will slow him down, so it's way harder for him to land the D. So yeah, just Q as soon as you stun, you Q, then you press your one, then you throw an oil potentially, then you keep running. But you oil like the oil is smart, but you need to dismount him first. That's the problem. Cause and he did try to sidestep, but he just landed it. But if he was dismounted, it would have been easier to sidestep. I think bunkering that was fine. And yeah, once Hunt is in, you're just dead. And now team staggering, disaster. Actually, we got 2 kills. That's 2 for 2. It's not bad. And we will get bot keep. It looks like from the initial play. Oh, I'm missing. Sorry, I didn't realize you respawned. Let's see how we play it. Okay, so we're back. We're playing the 3v3. This should be playable, but remember you want to peel for your hammer. I don't really see the objective timer, but I would be playing like peel mindset for hammer. That's a really good stun. It's a good trade. Nice, we got the cap back. Rhaegar is in there. Nice 2-man stun. It's all good. Nice, we got the bottom keep from the earlier pressure, so we'll call that death worth. Starting up on objective here. I actually think that boss would have been a much better call here because you're forcing him to recall. You know Murden's gonna recall, Kira's probably gonna recall, and Illidan is dead. You can't get the full objective timer by the time they respawn. So committing to objective is a bait here. It's better to get this boss to buy you more time for your objective later, or maybe buy you time to do other stuff on the map. I don't really like starting out objective like this unless you have like a clear man advantage. I like to just do the boss instead and maybe your camp. Because a lot of times playing this objective can bait you guys. And it's better to like get the boss first for more pressure on the map before you want to commit to the objective. But we do commit to the objective. Let's see how we play it. Hammer gets all in. We bunker the ring and we just get Janed. This is why I don't like committing to this objective, by the way. It's like such normally a terrible spot to fight. And we just get wiped. Could you have played it any better? I think I like to position away from my team. But right now you're like in the team. But as solo laner, it's normally good to like play on the side a bit. So like I probably would have been maybe playing down here. Just like a little bit away from everyone. And that'll just give you a better angle, if that makes sense. And it makes you a little bit less clumped for their AoE. So even though you are playing near the mud, which is why I hate playing this objective, because there's just no space. But yeah, I still would have played down here. That way you're not in the clump. You either want to play really far up, which you can't because they took all the space, or you want to play like on the side, which you kind of can't because, I mean, you could even have been playing this wave, might have been better. Like, let your team, like right now you're the one dealing with the, you don't, as a solo laner, this isn't your job, generally speaking. It's the DPS hero's job and maybe the healer's job, but this is like the last person's job is you, because you should always be like dealing with waves or like dealing with flanks instead of dealing with objective. So like I actually would have liked to have gotten bot prio here, as soon as you guys have Cassia or Rhaegar, whoever is here to leash the dogs off the objective, if you got this wave prio, it would have gave you more space to maybe play out here or play down here, and it gives your team the vision as well to see if they have any flankers. So yeah, like just keep that in mind as solo lane. Like try to play the side flanks. If you're playing like a Rel or a Hogger, like you could be playing over here. As Blaze, it's kind of hard to play the deep flanks like that, but you could even potentially play that if you had the wave in. It just gives you more angles to play from, because now instead of them being able to take all this space and congregate you guys in this area, if you're playing from this side and you have this wave in, then they potentially have to deal with you. And if they go on you, it's fine because you can buy time with your defensives and you can like kite back to your team. And if they don't deal with you, then like you kind of play that game of cat and mouse, you know, which Blaze is not the best for that, but he can still do that pretty effectively. Like normally you want something like a Rel or Hogger doing that, but Blaze can do that as well. But yeah, playing from the side flank is normally almost always better as solo laner, because you're playing with the team here and you're just gonna like you're not really getting any space for them. You're just like another body right now. But if you had this wave in and you had this space, maybe the fight looks different. I still think you guys probably lose this fight just because you guys are playing in a choke against Jaina. And we're just like overforcing objective, like 5v5 20s. I dislike playing like this unless you're super desperate. Or if you have like some insane like comp that can do it. But generally speaking, like it's pretty tough to just play a 5v5 objective like this on this map. Like this objective is such a bait a lot of times. But let's see. Okay, so Kure goes in. Murden jumps in. You oil to peel, it's good. You bunker right away the ring, it's good. I probably would have popped out and gone for Jaina right away. Probably what I would have done. Probably still lose. I don't really like stunning on this side, even though I get the impulse because you're worried about your backline. But Jaina's the one doing everything here. So it's good to like try to recognize who's gonna kill your team in the fight. And in this situation, it's always the Jaina, because the 20 Jaina is a big problem. So like, I would just use oils for the front line, and I would use the stun for the Jaina here. But yeah, you guys get 3-man rooted anyways, and you're all dead. We go next. Looks like we survived 5 more minutes. Okay, so they got. Oh, did you guys get the objective? Is that what happened? Yeah, that's what happened. I'm too lazy to go back. But let's see. Okay, next play. Boss is up. Your noob's dead for 10. Kind of tough to play this one. Playing around hammer though, I like it. You probably could have tried to rip a stun on this Murden because he was so far up. Just playing around hammer though. I think you could be a little bit more aggressive here. Like this Murden is disrespecting really hard. I think it's fine to go for a raw stun on him. Like when he steps out like this, you should try to punish that. Especially his stun is down and he's still like, this is so illegal. I think you're too afraid right now. You should be a little bit more manly. Like your hammer is being more manly than you. That ain't right. Like if you're able to auto attack him, you're able to go for a stun on him. Yeah, I would have went for that. Even though I did jump right away, you maybe could have interrupted it. It's good to go for those coin flips when you're this far back and you know they're on boss. Because worst case you miss, you bunker, you can pop out and run. They shouldn't be able to kill you in time. Even if you like miss and stun into their team, just because you know they're on the boss still. But it's fine, they got a boss, we don't really care. The map is bleeding out for them. So here again, you're a little bit too clumped. You're kind of like hugging your team. I don't really like that. I always try to find some sort of creative like space somewhere. Like maybe down here, up here. But try not to be too on top of your backline. I noticed this is kind of the second fight where you're hugging them a little bit too much. You can still peel even if you're a little bit farther away. You can always like stun in to peel after. And a lot of times the space you're taking, it's basically effective peel because they have to always factor you in to any engage they go for. So keep that in mind. Like taking space on the side is in essence effective peel, which is what you do here. So this is good. You do it here, whether purposely or unpurposely. This is the right idea. Is you're playing on this side, kind of away from your team, which is perfect. And this makes it a lot easier for you to peel this fight. It looks like. So he gets hunted. See, you stun the Ariel. I think that's fine. I would have bunkered that. Okay, you do bunker that. Team's getting owned by Hammer. Okay, it's not fine. Our team's getting owned by Jaina, rather. Oh, he got a ring reset too. It's the ring 20. I think he played it mostly fine. Maybe it's better for you to go for, even though stunning the healer in theory is good, I think trying to zone the Jaina. Like what I like to do sometimes is every team fight, I think about how the last team fight went, and like if it went well, why did it go well? Like what did we do that made it go well? And if it went poorly, why did it go poorly? So I think back to the last fight, it went poorly because we were too clumped and Jaina owned us. So immediately I'm thinking like, okay, this Jaina is a problem and I can't clump too hard. So like those are the two things I keep in mind. So keeping that in mind, I want to get some pressure onto Jaina. I want to get some space on top of Jaina. And this is why I like to go burn notice as well, because if you go burn notice, you don't have to commit oil to the Jaina to slow her down. You can just press 1 and run at her, and that makes her have to respect you and like either use spells on you alone. Like if you're running at her alone, right, let me show you the part I'm talking about. Like right, not yet, not yet, not yet. Like right here when the engage happens. So first thing I would do, throw an oil on your hammer for the Illidan peel. Like throw an oil like right here or like right here. Throw an oil so you can attack speed slow the Illidan. That's crucial. That's step 1. Step 2, I would sprint at this Jaina. Why? Because now Jaina has to either she has like 3 options. Either 1, ignore me and run past me. Okay, well I'm just gonna stun her then. Step 2, she has to use QE on me, which is probably what she'll do to like try to get me off her, which is good because she's using it on me alone instead of using it on the clump later. So like you're forcing her to use it. Or 3, she has to call for help and get some peel, which is also a win for you. Even though you'll lose that fight eventually, by forcing 2 heroes onto you, you're essentially doing your job as a solo laner, which is like creating space and like diverting their attention away from your backline. So like by running at her, and again, this is why I like burn notice, because if you press 1 and run at her, you have the ability to slow her down and get some decent damage on her without having to commit your oil to her. So you can still use your oil for the backline. So like yeah, oil backline, press 1, sprint at Jaina. That would be what I would do here, and I think that's probably the best way you win this fight. Because another thing with burn notice, so burn notice is it'll be a 25% slow, which is like pretty good. That's basically the same. If you think about Jaina trade is 25%. So you can Jaina trade the Jaina if you just run at Jaina, and that forces a response. So like you're basically like taking the agency back into your hands instead of being so reactive here. Which again, I get the impulse because you're worried about backline, but you guys already got a big chunk onto their Kira, and you guys still have double ancestral. So really, the only way from this position, the only way you lose this fight is either Illidan 1v9, which is very unlikely because you guys are so tanky and you can get attack speed oil on him, and it takes him a while to kill everyone, and you guys even have Cassia blind, or 2 Jaina 1v9, which should be unlikely if you can zone her, but you didn't do your job of zoning her, you peeled instead. So that's basically why I don't like the fight. And like stunning the healer, it's only good if, I guess the impulse is like I want to stop her from saving the Kira, but it's more important to zone the Jaina here. And yeah, that's what I would have done. Press 1, run at Jaina. If she tries to run past you, it's an easy stun on her. Maybe if she ice blocks it, then you could have a problem. But at least you force ice block, and you can instantly bunker and hit her with the Q bunker, and then just start auto attacking her, and maybe you can salvage it. But just get some pressure onto the Jaina. Also, you should have bunkered the ring like impact is another thing, because I think that saves her from getting the reset, right? Yeah. So she would have got less of a reset if you bunkered before the ring landed. So the bunker was a little bit late. Yeah, that was basically it. Just had to zone to Jaina, I guess. And overall note would just be like, try to take more space on the side. Try to waste less time on macro. Be a little bit more efficient on macro. And try not to waste defensive. Like, try to use defensive wisely. And try to just adapt to how the game is going. And try to adapt in the fights. And figure out why the fights are good, why the fights are bad. And, like, what you need to be doing better. Okay, that's it. Thank you.